If you are feeling that you are affected by the news this week or this month or just the whole of 2026, you are not alone. I wanted to put together this video to acknowledge and to acknowledge that the things that have been happening in the news are causing distress, not only to us individually, to our individual nervous systems, but also the nervous systems of the people that are in our communities, because the kind of news that has been out this year has been really affecting a lot of people on a mass scale, and it feels like it feels almost irresponsible not to talk about this. So as this is a trauma-informed video, I want to invite you to check in with your capacity before continuing to watch this video. I'm not going to be going into any details about these events, but I am going to be mentioning the events, but I'm not going to be going into any details, so that even though there's a mild trigger warning that I want you to be aware of here. I want you to see if you have the capacity, and to remember that if you are feeling too activated whilst listening to this video, that you can pause it and come back to it at any time. For those of you that don't know, my name is Donna Louise, and I am a trauma-trained somatic practitioner, a functional breathwork coach, a clinical EFT practitioner, and also a trainee counsellor. And I help people to get out of survival mode, to restore their nervous systems, and to reconnect with themselves. So a couple of days ago, the US and Israel attacked Iran, and now there is a huge amount of unrest in the Middle East. Before that was all of the information coming out about the Epstein files. These two events in the past couple of weeks have caused me dysregulation at times, feeling really strongly about the injustice that I've seen in these in the dealing of these cases, and also having conversations with friends and just consuming this information and learning about these things has just been so upsetting and so made me so angry, and my friends upset. So many of my friends have made so many of my friends so angry, and we've been having a lot of conversations around these things, which has brought about a lot of activation in my system, in their systems, as we are talking about this. And I think it's important to acknowledge that, and to recognize that when even though we've got our individual nervous systems, we're also part of a bigger collective nervous system, whether, depending on what kind of demographic that we fit into, we relate deeply to other people, and especially if they've had experiences that also relate to ours. So it's very, very easy for us to feel triggered and activated and upset and affected by the news and what we see in the news and what we see on social media, and the fact that we are these days bombarded with that information, and it's really takes a lot of work in order to be able to disconnect from those things and disconnect from those conversations. It's not impossible, but it can be a lot of work. So therefore, how do we manage dealing day in, day out with shocking stories coming to light, with seeing a lot of violence in the media, seeing a lot of pain, seeing a lot of destruction, and injustice and other people's opinions about all of those things which might not also mirror our own. How do we go about helping ourselves stay regulated? Now, when I say regulated, I mean that this becomes a problem when we stay stuck in our responses, in our reactions to seeing and those things or having conversations around these topics. Actually, our nervous system we're not meant to feel calm. We're not meant to not be bothered. We're meant to feel activation, because what we are seeing is cues of threats, of danger, that is either related to these demographics that we relate to, or just maybe too close to home geographically, or we can also know people that might be affected by those things on a more deeper level, or that we are affected by those things on a deeper level. And we should, it's not a bad thing if you feel anger, if you feel upset, if you feel frustrated. It's only becomes, that's a sign of a healthy nervous system, because it shows that you are flexible, that your nervous system is responding in a healthy way. Because when danger is around, either whether it is, I mean, our nervous system actually doesn't know the difference between a real danger and a potential danger. It sees both things at the same time. Anything that is especially around uncertainty as well will activate the sympathetic nervous system and move us into these states of fight or flight or freeze. And we want to maintain that ability to do so that when the threat is actually real, we can take action, we can protect ourselves, we can flee, we can find the inner resources to be there for ourselves and for others, etc. But the problem is when we move into this dysregulated state where we carry that with us and we feel activated and stressed, and we're just adding to that load with more and more things coming out in the news. I mean, it's not even day by day anymore, but like hour by hour, minute by minute, because of how we are also connected to the internet. And if we aren't, then other people are, and then they're informing us, etc. So it's understandable that you have those sympathetic nervous system responses, but we don't want to stay there. So how do we go about doing that? Well, at being able to tune in to our interoceptive cues, understanding what we're feeling in the moment that we are receiving some information, either from a conversation, either from our phones or from the news, being able to notice how we're feeling in our body and being connected to that, whilst also being connected to what is safe and stable in our environment. So the basics of interoception, so listening to our body's cues, but also being in the reality that you are in and orienting to the space and the environment that you are in. Because in this space, right here, right now, I am safe. And when we are on the phone and we're seeing all of these images and these videos and we're hearing all of these sounds or stories, it can make us feel like we are there and not actually here. So we need to orient to our to the space that we are in, and stay connected to ourselves by listening to our interoceptive cues, and stay connected to our environment. Now, if you are feeling very angry, I invite you to watch my video on how to process and release anger without causing further dysregulation. Now, this is a video where I show you how to work with a cushion, and how to express and discharge that excess fight energy, sympathetic fight energy, into the cushion. And there are other ways that you can express anger if you need to, move your body and be a little bit more active with this after you've done the cushion exercise, because you want to allow yourself to titrate the anger and for you to be in control, not for the anger to be controlling you. After you've done the exercise with the cushion, you can also then pick up the cushion, go over to a bed and do some cushion slams, do 7 or 8 cushion slams. And as you do that, you can release stress through your vocal cords, so you can make noise, etc. So this is one way to release anger. Now, if you are also feeling some anxiety and some stress, I have another video on how to gently release stress from the body by doing a simple shaking exercise. This can also just help for you to move some of that sympathetic flight energy sometimes, because when we're watching these videos, when we're seeing these things, we also, can really relate to that experience of not wanting to be there. So you can do some shaking and really let all of the muscles in your body shake it out and release some of that stored cortisol and adrenaline from different parts of your body, your legs, your arms, your torso, etc. Now, if you are just feeling really sad and heartbroken by what you are seeing, you could do some of those things. You could have a little shakeout, but really what I would suggest is some hand on heart breathing, and just really connecting with your heart and coming into your body, and breathing in and out through the nose, or you could breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, and putting your both hands on your heart, and you could gently sway from side to side. Very, very nourishing movement, gently swaying from side to side whilst your hand is on your heart. You could do this for 5 to 10 minutes, just gently rubbing your heart, swaying from side to side, with a self-hug. If it feels a little bit awkward sometimes, depending on the position that you're in, to have your hands here. So you could also do a nice gentle self-hug. If you're feeling anxious in response to the things that you are seeing, I would suggest some box breathing. So you can breathe in for the count of 4. So I'm going to demonstrate using drawing the shape of a box here, but you can breathe in for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4, exhale for the count of 4, and inhale, and hold again for the count of 4. So inhale, hold, exhale, hold for the count of 4, breathing nicely in through the nose, and with the hands on the lower part of the abdomen, trying to get the hands to move. If you're feeling anxious, we're often breathing shorter, and we're often breathing up into our chest, and we want to gradually move the breath down into the lower part of the abdomen, so we can feel the diaphragm and we can connect more with the diaphragm. I've spoke about processing anger, processing stress and frustration, processing sadness, and also anxiety. So there's four little exercises there that can just help you manage some of the physical sensations that you might be having in response to current events that are extremely dysregulating. And also you can do some other things as well, like limiting the amount of time you are spending on your phone looking at the news or watching it on television. You can put blockers. I've got a social media blocker on my phone. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that. It's called Opal, OPAL, and it prevents me from accessing my social media during different times of the day. I've got it set up with specific times and then how long I'm allowed to be on it each time. That's helpful if you need that extra little bit of support to stay off your phone and to reduce that screen time. Movement in general, getting out, connecting with the outside world, with the environment, if it's possible, if it's within your abilities. Doing movement, being in your body, not spending so much time thinking, but actually just being present, being in the body, connecting with the environment, and then also connecting with others, so co-regulation as well. And decide how long you want to talk about these things for. Put a boundary in place. Can we talk about this for the next 10 or 15 minutes? And then when that time's up, decide to change the topic. Or if you feel like you do not have the capacity to talk about these things anymore, say, I'm sorry, but I don't want to continue this conversation. It's extremely dysregulating for me, and I don't want to have this conversation with you right now at all, or whatever it is that you want to say to finish those things. You can put a boundary in place around other people talking to you about that as well. And there was one other thing I wanted to say. What was that? Co-regulation, movement, different... Got it. Creativity, making things is also really regulating. Making a delicious meal, doing some painting, doing some writing, journaling, making music, dancing, making things is also extremely nourishing during these times as well. So we've got a mix here of if you can, making some art, being creative, co-regulation, boundaries for yourself and with others, movement, environment, etc. So I really wanted to talk about this because I kind of feel like I'm just living in la la land as a nervous system practitioner, not addressing these things that we're all experiencing, being connected to the media at the moment. It just seems like too privileged not to acknowledge these things and just think, oh, everything's okay in my world. But my world is also affected by these things daily. And I'm not judging myself for that. I'm holding myself with compassion and I'm doing the things that I've spoken to you about. I'm human. My nervous system is flexible. It's going to feel anger and pain and sadness and all of these different things as well. And I'm okay with that. And I've also supported my friends with some of that over the past week or so. So I think that is all I have to say on the matter. I do sincerely hope that there's been some information in this video that you found supportive. If there has, I'd love to know what that has been. Please feel free to share your thoughts, opinions, or any concerns that you might have, any suggestions for others in the comments section below this video. If you would like to share it with someone that you think might find it useful, that would also be great. And subscribe to the channel. And again, just to wrap up, my name is Donna Louise and I am a trauma-trained somatic practitioner, a functional breathwork coach, a clinical EFT practitioner and a trainee counsellor. And I help people to get out of survival mode, to restore their nervous systems and to reconnect with themselves again. Thank you so much for being here today, and until the next time, take very good care.